up, guys? I'm Brian and I'm 23. And as you can see, I have no hair on my head. I've been battling with hair loss since I was 18. It's one of those problems where you feel scared, alone, and isolated because even though you talk about it with your friends, you know they don't understand. They're not battling with this whole hair loss ordeal. And it's one of those problems where you have to take charge of your life even though you don't have control of it. You know, the best solution I thought back in the time was to wear hats all the time. During special functions, sometimes I would wear hats, but times when I absolutely couldn't wear a hat, I would be too scared to face the opposite direction of people because I know that they could see this big bald spot in the back of my head. So a couple days ago, I decided to shave it all off. I like it. It's a feeling of empowerment, and it's the most confident I've ever felt.
So the main reason why I accepted balding was I was really tired of hiding my hair when I wanted to go into the sea or just swim or just do any sports where I was afraid I wouldn't be able to wear a cap and hide my thinning hair. I do a lot of bike, skateboarding. Yeah, sometimes you need to take off your cap. I was so afraid. One day I decided to just buzz it off, shave it off. I felt so good instantly. It was so good to do any sports without my cap and without being worried of the looks of the others on my head. Go for it, guys.
So my breaking point was last summer where I literally was taking every hair loss product imaginable, talked myself into thinking it was working, but then kept catching pictures of the back of my head. Instead of working, it actually looked worse. And every time I would see that, I would just get more deflated and depressed and angry until one day I decided it just wasn't worth it, wasn't worth the stress, wasn't worth the worry, wasn't worth spending all my free time researching products to see what might work. So I just made a decision to shave it off, be confident, accept it, and happy I did, and I've been embracing it ever since.
Two of my uncles were bald. They had what I call the skullet. The hair on the side, bald on top. Party in the back, nothing in the front. And I wasn't going to be that guy. So when I started thinning out, I didn't hesitate. I shaved it bald. It took a couple years. You know, I wore a hat all the time. I was extremely embarrassed to take it off. I wore a hat at work, wore a hat out to the bars. And it wasn't until the bars started making people take their hats off, and I started suffering from migraines, and I just couldn't wear hats anymore. I could barely wear sunglasses, and it forced me to stop doing those things. And once I was forced to do that, I started attracting more people. Really hot, pretty girls were like interested in me. I was like, couldn't believe it. They didn't care about my hair, whether it was there or not. Started focusing on myself a little bit, going back to school, eating better, working out. It's been amazing to look back and see myself and how I've grown over the last 15, 16 years, because I started balding at like 23, 37 now, so I kind of forgot all those struggles that I went through. It's just an inspiration for me to see where I came from and where I ended up now, and you guys will be there too. Life's just gonna get better. Shave it off, move on, focus on yourself.
For me, it was a long journey. It was 10 years of noticeable hair loss and allowing it to pick at my self-esteem and my confidence. There were a lot of people who were struggling with the exact same problem and were brave enough to look the problem in the eye and deal with it. And so I decided at that time that there was no better time than to just go ahead and give it a try. If other people were dealing with the exact same problem and able to combat it, I thought, why not me? And I don't regret it whatsoever.
So with me accepting being bald, it took me like a couple of years. I started balding when I was 25, and it was really bad. I've been wearing a hat almost every day, and I just recently just shaved it off, and I just accepted it. Like, I was nervous about doing it for the most part. Like, I kept putting it back, but I bought the clippers and the shaver all from Amazon, and when it came, I was like, well, either you're gonna do this now or you're always gonna wish you've done it. So I just took the shot, and I think I look good bald. I got people complimenting me about it. So yeah, that was just me. I just accepted it. I just went like, screw it. I did it. And then now I'm bald.
So I've been noticing and watching my hair loss since my late teens. And what really helped me sort of start to accept it was when I saw one of my uncles who was bald, and he was rocking the buzz cut look, and I thought he looked awesome. My now girlfriend, I talked to her about it, and she basically made it clear that she would find me attractive whether I had hair or not. I found it really reassuring watching lots of other guys' stories and knowing that I wasn't the only one. So as soon as I did it, my girlfriend gave me a big kiss and she told me she really liked it. I posted a picture to my family and on social media, and everyone gave me a great reaction. I felt amazing, and I walked down the street and started talking to people at work and stuff. And the main thing I noticed is that no one cares about what's on your head. No one cares. It's all in your own head.
So as you can see, I'm rocking a buzz cut. What really helped me accept the fact that I was going bald at an early age. I'm 21, and so I found it harder than friends of mine that are older. Was pretty much the fact that I understand that I look much better now than I used to do when I was balding. On top of that, I don't have to worry about styling my hair a certain way or combing it, or if I go to the beach, I have to worry about getting my hair wet and everything. So once you buzz it off, you're relieved, and on top of that, then you build your confidence when you're relieved, and confidence is key. Talking to girls, go after girls that like bald people, don't discourage yourself, and basically, if your confidence rocking this look, people are not going to comment on it. So much easier to, feel good about yourself and wake up in the morning and say, damn, bro, you look good bald.
How did we get over the fear? How did we get over the hump of shaving it off and accepting hair loss? And I've got two things to say. The first being, I realized how insignificant this is in the grand scheme of things. When you've got, for myself, I'm speaking, I've got health, I've got my friends and family, and I recently just graduated from college and received a diploma in civil engineering. Life's going great. Why do I need this thing to defeat me and beat me down when things are going good? And the second, I've got you to thank. The Bald Cafe podcast, countless videos of people going through the exact same thing as me, regardless of age, regardless if they have more or less hair than me, it didn't matter. They conquered their fears, they're so much more confident, they look so much better, and they've never looked back, and neither have I.
How I accepted it. What happened was, I was starting to lose my hair at around 17 and 18. Then I got used to it. Then I decided something, that I'm actually investing a lot of time in handling my receding hairlines, and then I thought that I cannot invest so much of time and energy on something which is not giving me returns. Then I decided to shave my head. At first it was hard, then I realized something. It was saving my time and money at the same time. Then other benefits like self-confidence and plenty of new things were coming. I was more confident, people were actually loving it. So I prefer that accept who you are, like I did, and shave your head for once.
So in regards to what enabled me to accept baldness, personally my choice was to get SMP done. Now after a year of having it done, I would say once this eventually fades, I'm probably going to be okay to just rock it without the SMP. I did it for a year prior to getting this done, and I'll carry on doing it after. I just thought it was the right time to get it done, and that's enabled me to get through a part of my life where I thought I needed it. Cheers. Thank you.
So I'm totally still working on accepting going bald, but I'm learning that you got to rock what you got, man. You got to be confident. You can get anxious, you can get depressed about it, but like at the end of the day, life's going to keep going. Everything's going to keep going. So you're just going to have to keep moving with it, and you just got to be confident and just be who you are. Rock it.
Some things that helped me accept my hair thinning and balding were getting the time to think about it, watching videos and watching other people's experiences, watching people go through the same thing as me. I'm 21, so it happened really young for me. Like, my hair started thinning a little bit earlier on, just when I started graduating high school. But one thing that helped me was to realize that my appearance was not my identity, and that I was so much more than what my appearance looked like.
I learned to accept it by watching a ton of Bald Cafe, understanding that I'm not going through it myself. There's no need to feel embarrassed. This is something you have to embrace. I knew it wasn't going to get any better. I weren't going to get a hair transplant. I weren't going to use any alternatives. Spending way too much time in the morning and way too much hairspray. I just decided to buzz it. Now I'm even wet shaving, which is something I really enjoy. I find it quite therapeutic, and it makes me feel unbelievably confident. I've got a great set of friends, great girlfriend who, really, really love it, and I get a lot of compliments from people at work and stuff like that. So if it's something you are thinking about doing, honestly, go for it. Give it a go.
So when accepting balding, the way I accepted it was that realizing that it's only hair. You can't change what's bound to happen, so that just gives you motivation to own what you got and own your looks. I like to tell myself that without hair, I'm a better person overall. I told myself that the hair on my head was a little gremlin and it caused stress and overall anxiety in my life, and it was always on my mind. So by killing that gremlin on my head, I just overall am a better person and my confidence level is up. And to end, it's just, I've said it many times, it's only hair. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change how you are as a person or anything like that. Thank you.
What helped me accept baldness was the fact that I wasn't alone, and if others can do it, so can I.
Don't be too hard on yourself, and don't rush trying to accept it. Don't think, right, I've got to come to terms with it now. I've got to be okay with it now. I've got to get over it as soon as possible, because that's not what happened for me. That's not the way I went through it. Taking a bit of time, even if it's a year, 2 years, to sort of come to terms with the fact that your hair is thinning or it's balding or whatever you may be going through, and it's going to happen. It's hard to hear, but all the solutions are temporary. There's going to come a point where you're either going to have to own it or you're going to have to hide. You know, I'd rather own it and be happy than hide behind someone I'm not. And that's really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to. And I think the real fear isn't you being bald. I think it's what people are going to think of you. The second you get it out your head that people don't care. They really don't. I mean, I thought people were going to take the mick out of me. They didn't. Everybody said, wow, that looks much better on you and it suits you. Try your best to take your time and come to terms with it. And it really did help me.
So 2 things. First is the fact that nothing really changed. So I can still get goals. I can, I still have my friends, family. Nothing really changed since I started losing my hair. And the second thing is a realization that I'm not a guy who is losing hair. So that thing does not define me.
The thing that made me accept it was the fact of my genetics. Very simple. I was, of course, terrified when I was on my mid-20s, getting older, losing my hair. Every day, every month, and every year, you realizing you're losing hair. And then I thought, okay, it's my genetics and I will just accept it. Very simple. Cheers.
Greetings from India. I just shaved my head a week ago, I guess, just before I was taking part in a beard competition, which is due sometime in June 10th. Anyway, I always thought I had some good hair, but then when I was looking into the mirror at the barbers, I just realized I didn't have much. So I thought, okay, let me just shave it off. Maybe I can carry on with a lot of confidence, and here I am. I think it looks good.
I was spending a good half an hour to an hour every day just trying to do my hair, trying to cover it up. I was spending a fortune on hair fibres and trying all different hairstyles, and it was fine until I took one step outside, slightest bit of wind. No, God. I was constantly wearing my hat in the house. I wasn't even seeing anyone, wasn't doing anything, just my partner and my kids, and I hated the look of how I looked without anything in my hair. It was really, really starting to get to me. I think the biggest inspiration is all you guys on the Baldcalf videos. Really pushed me and helped me see that it can be alright.
So for me, guys, after months and months of suffering in silence with, slowly losing my hair, the way I finally accepted it, I looked at all the things, this hair loss stuff was making me feel, how it affected my day-to-day life. I pretty much asked myself, how much longer are you gonna let this go on for? I looked myself in the mirror, and I was just thinking to myself, look at what you're doing every day, look at how it's making you feel, look at how it's affected your life. And the answer was obvious, right? I knew that I needed to take a big action on it. I just wanted it done, I wanted it ended. And for me, I thought that is going to come with big action. I wanted to be the one that puts a stop to it. I wanted to be in control of it, in charge of it. And so of course, that eventually led to the shaved head, and I never looked back. And to all of the guys in this video, I want to thank you so much for sending me your clips and being part of this video, right? Sharing your own stories, your own truths. I really hope you recognise that it takes some serious guts, it takes some serious bottle. And to all the guys who are still on their own journey, working through this hair loss thing, you gotta know 100% that you too can get there, right? There was a place for all of us, right? There was a time when it was very, very difficult to deal with, but you've heard just there, the thing that finally made us accept it, and you'll find yours as well. So I hope this video helped you. I hope it inched you a little bit closer to that acceptance, to working through it, getting past, moving past balding once and for all. This is this was a really fun video to put together, and I'm sure there'll be much more in the future. You know, this is exactly what I set out to do when I started Bald Cafe, right? This is what I wanted it to grow into, and it's getting there. We're doing it. I just want to say a big thank you once again to all the guys in the video and to all of you around the world for watching this video. I, of course, will see you in that next one. Goodbye.
Hey.
Go for it, guys.
I swear I like your style. Put you in Chanel cause it's just perfect for your smile. Girl, I swear for you I'd run the world, I'd run the miles. The way you look at me, I think I'm going insane. It's crazy how we started out to what